The year before the Inflation Reduction Act had passed, we had put about 150 veterans into the industry on 3 projects for Bechtel and McCarthy. And, a third of those individuals that were veterans had just recently transitioned out of the military, but they were also met the federal definition of homelessness. These are veterans who, they didn't think they're homeless. They're sleeping in their car, showering at the gym, and they just didn't realize that, they needed something more stable. But really, this industry is perfect for those individuals because it lets them get to work. They're going to get those hours they need to get back on strong financial footing and ultimately be provided a longer pathway. ACS, we like to open those doors. We like to facilitate. We like to leverage different government programs, but it doesn't go anywhere without great employers like these 3. That is absolutely critical. So we find ourselves now, we got 8.6 gigawatts of projects that ACS is supporting. On some of these projects, we do the whole ball of wax, right? We act as a sponsor. We're even doing some work on the prevailing wage and doing a lot of reporting. And then some projects, we're just assisting in the delivery of the apprenticeship. Maybe it's the EPC's program, and we're managing their program on their behalf. But one thing has really, the last 6 months, our partners have been just ringing up is, hey, Nick, I see you got this, ACS has got this great group of EPCs and contractors. Are you going to be there for us in 2025? As we go from 4 IRA projects to 20. And that's been on our mind. Paul Champion, our COO, couldn't be here today, but we've been at the leadership side of the business really focused on the scalability of ACS. Because when we partner and you're our signatory employer, one thing's for sure is we got to meet our obligations. If you need to go somewhere, we got to be prepared to go with you to that state to operate apprenticeships. And that could be tricky with different regulations and different state apprenticeship agencies and their requirements. But it was also our team. So, I mentioned that we have 91, 92 team members. John manages a large segment of those individuals. But what was really excited was over the last 6 months, we've been really focused on making what's now, we bounced this off some back channels at Department of Labor to make sure we had it right. But what is now the largest investment in U.S. history to expand apprenticeship infrastructure. When you think about public investment, there's always been money to support the growth of apprenticeships. The last 3 administrations have been big advocates of apprenticeship. And so for that reason, we decided to put our money where our mouth was in expanding apprenticeships. And at this RE Plus, we're really excited to announce that ACS has made a $10 million investment and launching the Apprenticeship Innovation Center in Houston, Texas, in the Energy Corridor, a 68,000 square foot facility centrally established to support businesses on expanding apprenticeships. So we could not do this without our partners. So I want to give everyone here a round of applause for helping us. People ask me all the time, why apprenticeships, Nick? You weren't an apprentice. I was in the Army. I got out after I was wounded in Iraq, started a commercial insurance agency, and felt like I needed to do more for veterans and others. And then we went on to have 7 kids, my wife and I. And people say, why apprenticeships? I was like, I just told you I have 7 kids, right? So what better than an apprenticeship for some of them? And I would be so proud to see it. But making a decision, this was private money. This was our money at ACS. We've never made $10 million. So it was a big leap for us. Why would we do that? We would do it because of the commitment of our partners. Yes, there's a lot of folks in this building who are going to do apprenticeships because they have to. There's companies that are doing apprenticeship because it was who they were from the very beginning. And now it's just put a level playing field for everyone. that when whether it's Blue Ridge, Solve, or Aerotech, as they invest in apprenticeships, they realize everyone else has got to do it too. So it makes it a little easier to make those decisions. So I want to go back to Eric. I know a lot of people might get jealous when I say this. I know the other Eric with Saul Butticaz was a bit envious when I said that Eric Grant had toured our facility. He's the only. We had a Texas senator, I won't say which one, that did a tour. But other than him, Eric has been the only person who's peeked behind the curtain to see what this facility is going to do. And I'll talk about when it will open. But Eric, why don't you talk about the building a little bit, what you experience and what you see the Apprenticeship Innovation Center being able to help Blue Ridge and your subs.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. One of the things we've loved working with Nick is that Nick is an information sharer. He's passionate about apprenticeships and passionate about sharing that information, and he's a wealth of knowledge. And I myself was a career educator before coming into solar. And so what I saw in the Innovation Center, the Apprenticeship Innovation Center, is a space for people to come together to work, obviously, to learn. And we're talking about apprentices. We're talking about industry partners to come to learn, a place for people to collaborate. There's open spaces for people to get together to work together. There's small offices for people to go and have a private meeting or a phone call. There is a large warehouse space that will be converted into a training facility. And so it's really an opportunity for people to come together to work, to learn, to collaborate with each other, and to move their apprenticeships forward collectively, rather than working in isolation. That's another thing I'll say about having been a former educator. We know that when people work in silos, a lot gets lost. We know that when you bring people together, a lot gets gained. And so I see this as a place, a beautiful facility. It's got amazing grounds. I mean, there's like a walking track, and there's a exercise facility outside. It's really stunning. But what I see it from us is a space for us to come work with others, innovate, collaborate, learn, and work together. So we're excited to see this launch and be a part of that launch. So, and thank you for the opportunity. It was a little bit of luck. I was on a panel with Clean Techs, and Nick was on the panel with me. So I spent a day working with them and got that tour. And it was really an opportunity, an honor to be in that spot. Thank you.
No, I appreciate that, Eric. And I mean, you really covered the real meaning of the project. We're launching this summer the Global Apprenticeship Network. It's a product of our work with the International Labor Organization. 3 of us at ACS represented employers for the United States at the International Labor Conference in 2023. And the ILO and the IOE, they passed 184 countries voted for this set of recommendations on quality apprenticeships. It's the first global framework for quality delivery. There was 4 people from the United States. There was an individual from Walmart that's a member of the USCIB, which we're now part of as well, and then 3 of us at ACS. And it was just such an honor to represent employers and on a global framework. And we were able to, one of the amendments that we added to it was a global focus on clean energy apprenticeships. It was the only industry sector that was specified in. And so we want to use the Innovation Center as a way for knowledge transfer. We always believe that the well runs deep at ACS, that we don't take information as being some intellectual property. We like to share everything we know. I can't remember the last time I ever elbowed somebody and says, "Oh, don't tell them that yet," right? Because we know the information is just continuing to be or the knowledge is being an incubator at ACS, and it grows. So one of the things I know Eric has been excited about is professional development. Solve and other organizations, while they partner with ACS and want to continue, I hope, for decades to come, we do realize that they're going to take on more and more of the responsibility of delivery. And so we will be launching the apprenticeship for apprenticeship professionals out of the Apprenticeship Innovation Center. Eric, you want to talk how Solve looks to benefit from this 68,000 square foot facility?
Yeah, it's I like to think of it a little bit as kind of a home away from home for us. Solve is based in San Diego. Most of the folks in my group, we work from home, so we're around the country, and it's kind of neat to have call it a satellite office, if you will, but it feels like a home away from home to me is how I'm envisioning it, and ultimately, what I like to be able to show to again our partners, and I know I mentioned our clients before, but what I like to be able to show to them is that internally as well as externally, we continue to develop our skills and our knowledge and our understanding of apprenticeship and our interpretation of the IRA and how can we push this forward. And ACS is that other partner that we can look out to and say, we've got this other set of eyes on this. And now we can go down to Houston, and this is our satellite office, if you will. And we're continuing to educate our people so that we are better. As you mentioned, we'll insource more and more over time, but how do we do that? We do that through education, and ACS is that source of that education. That's most of the stuff I learned. I've learned directly from you. So that's how we advance as an organization, and that's how we pull our clients and our subs and our partners with us.
Well, I wish I could take credit for everything that the team is bringing me. There's a lot of ACS members in the audience, and they got some great materials to hand out, both on our services as well as how the Innovation Center will be used. We're going to be, the grand opening will be for National Apprenticeship Week. It'll be I believe it's the 19th and 20th of November. And we will be hosting probably 200 or 300 members of the industry. It will also be the big kickoff for the Global Apprenticeship Network. I always use that particular week for my own reflection. It was by coincidence. There's a organization, Covenant House of Texas. I always do a sleep out where I'm homeless the same week as National Apprenticeship Week with other business executives. So I will be encouraging everybody who stays to raise money for the Covenant House. I almost had Eric 2 years ago and Lee last year doing it, but I think we've raised about $100,000 over the last several years being homeless for one night. Because, ultimately, apprenticeships are the great equalizer. It doesn't matter where you came from, where your background was, who your parents were, or how many careers you've already had. When you come through an apprenticeship, you're just going to get all that support and that growth. And people will also ask, why apprenticeships? And for me, when I left the military after leading, 18 men and women in combat, I lost one of my soldiers to suicide in 2013. And she had also grown up in the foster care system and been abused, unfortunately. And so when we worked with organizations like the Covenant House, recognizing we're trying to open doors to give somebody a clear pathway and the support along the way. And I think about those who struggle, whether it's with mental health or just landing a career and having stability and keep their family together. I don't know how often apprentices come back to our office, and I get a knock on the door, and I come out right after a meeting, and we run into one of our apprentices that it's been 2, 3, 4 years. And it reminds us why we do what we do.